the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG doggy.
Hello, and welcome to Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morris, or Morris, aka Russ, and with me this week is
PJ Coffey from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers, also from Homebrew and Hacking TTRPG Design. Hello! Joining us also this week, we have, some might describe her as a lady who has opinions online about politics and so forth. I certainly wouldn't know anything about that. I just speak to her in person. It's the best way, really. Anyway, it's the one. It's the only.
It's me, Jessica from EM Publishing. But as we're here to talk about the tabletop RPG news, I'm going to try and keep my political opinions to myself, as we try to do on EN World.
Good luck with that.
yeah.
It gets harder and harder to do by the day.
Yeah.
I've been, as Jess knows, slightly poorly this week. I've had a little bit of a stomach bug. When I say a little bit of a stomach bug, I mean I've lost half a stone in weight, 7 pounds in weight.
Wow, okay.
From last Friday through to Monday night, I couldn't keep anything down at all. Anything. I was up all night, 4 nights in a row, just, well, you know. Conversing with my toilet.
Praying for porcelain gods.
This is possibly the first day that I've felt vaguely normal in a week.
And I've been lucky because I've had daily Discord updates about it as well.
Because I was blissfully unaware until now when my pristine and happy ignorance was shattered, violated.
Do not worry, you too can catch up here on Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
I know, it has not been fun, but hey, I'm alive. I seem to be back to...
Are you feeling a bit better now, Russ?
A little bit better, yeah. Not amazing, but better.
Okay.
Anyway,
we talk
my
about
health woes aside. Yes, we do. Well, it's quite a week this week. It's a week and a half. It really is.
Okay,
where should we start?
Yeah. Just to remind everyone, we are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, as we do every Friday at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can join us, join the chat, ask questions, make snarky comments if that's your vibe. And it's always a good fun. And yeah, if you listen to us on the podcast, you want to join us live, you can do that. Anyway,
can actually gaze upon our faces and discover why they make
gaze upon our faces if you think you can bear such a thing.
That's
okay.
Anyway.
So let's talk about lots of news, and we got a lot of news.
What shall we start with? Because we have a list of things to talk about. Where should we begin? Let's
start with Eberron, shall we?
Everyone likes a good bit of Eberron.
Eberron. So, we've got some information about the upcoming book, Forge of the Artificer. But first, there is a adventure coming before that.
Yes.
So this is going to be at PAX East, which is this weekend, big convention in the US this weekend. And there's going to be a new adventure set in Zendrick in Eberron. One of those places that begin with an X.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. It's a 3rd level adventure, 2024 adventure, using pre-made characters using the 2024 PHB rules, and also the Eberron Forge of the Artificer new player options. And yeah, we don't know much about it. It's called Race for the Crab Temple, 3rd level adventure.
I am interested in this because I am in a long-running Eberron campaign. That's the D&D campaign I'm in at the moment, and we are based in Zendrick. We are level 9 though, so probably a bit too high level for this adventure.
Yeah,
but I'm interested in all the Eberron news we had this week because I kind of felt relevant to me. So I've had a little nosy about in some of the bits and pieces. So I can't talk about the Crab Temple. But I still will learn more about it next week after PAX.
Yeah, I mean, we know what the basic description is. Well, it's
Go
like
on.
one sentence. Your group has been dispatched by Moorgrave University to travel to Zendrick and seek out the Crab Temple. It's a race between your expedition and a rival to discover its secrets. Sounds very energetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the first adventure I actually. Well, I didn't run this one, but I ran my first adventure. I ran in Eberron. Well, it starts off in Zendrick, so that was quite cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zendrick is cool.
Yeah. Everyone's one of those settings I know very little about. I've never played in Eberron, so and I've never owned an Eberron book either.
Oh well, perhaps there's always a first time for everything, Russ.
Yeah. It seems like the sort of thing I would like, but so much to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So, talking of Eberron,
Yes.
so we know that the book is coming out later this year.
Yes.
Which is exciting news. So, Eberron Forge of the Artificer is now available for pre-order. Let me find a lovely picture. I'm sure I can.
And it's going to be $29.99 US.
Yes, well, that was so Eberron Forge of the Artificer. We seem to have lost PJ.
They will return.
There we go.
Returned. Hello.
Yeah. So Eberron Forge of the Artificer, you can pre-order it now on D&D Beyond.
Yes.
As Jess mentioned, it's an interesting price point. It's $29.99.
$30
for the book. Yeah, which is the cheapest,
like the actual physical copy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the cheapest D&D book that has been ever, like in the 5e era.
Like how big is it? Do we know?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? That has people speculating. What does that mean then? Does that mean that they're moving to a new format?
There is a lot of stuff in there, though, which says to me there's quite a few pages.
Yes. So we don't know how many pages there are.
But so content-wise, there's a lot of stuff that would say to me there should be quite a few pages.
Well,
but yeah, if you go through the content.
So we've got four subclasses. There are a couple of each. 4 revised subclasses and a new one, sorry. 5 species, 17 backgrounds, 28 feats. 3 campaign templates. I'm not sure exactly what that means for building fantasy noir, political thriller, and pulp adventure.
Yeah.
And 20 monsters. So actually, if you look at that, that's like a couple of chapters, really.
Yeah, it's not that big. You could allow like probably a page each for the subclasses. Same again for the species. Call it 3/4 of a page. So about 4 pages for backgrounds, and I'd say I could probably get about 6 feats to the 6 to 8 feats to the page. So we're looking at
so a couple of chapters. So are we talking like a soft cover book, maybe a smaller soft cover book?
Definitely. Look, I mean, I'm looking at prices for my own book that I'm sending, and I would lose money if I tried to sell anything at $30.
Well, PJ, that leads me on to something I was going to say. I was going to put my tinfoil hat on and make a outlandish speculation. So we know that with the global situations we've discussed in here, a lot of RPG publishers are struggling, and it's going to be challenging to print, and prices are going to need to go up. We know this is not the case for Wizards of the Coast. Are they using this opportunity to just be like, well, we've got the main brand power, if we are the cheapest as well, will that just make our position? I don't think so,
because this book would have been in the works for like nearly 2 years.
This is
tinfoil hats. That's fine.
But reasonable suspicion. But as Russ says, it's been in the works for a couple of years. And also, to be quite honest,
is it soft cover? I just looked at a picture of it.
It looks like a hardcover to me.
It looks to me. That's the back cover of it. That looks to me. That's got a spine there. That's got a spine there.
That's a hardcover spine.
But it might be a small hardcover.
I mean, you're not getting much spine text on that. I'll tell you that for that thing.
No,
goodness. They don't have content for it.
A hardcover, maybe a small one, maybe,
or maybe it's just the standard. I don't know. No, that would be bizarre to forget if it wasn't a hardcover and use a hardcover like image file or something. That'd be wild. I mean,
No,
to be honest, Jessica, I don't think they're organised enough or that they care enough to actually try and do such a thing. No, honestly, it's like they're not giving competent, sorry, like they're not giving evil mastermind levels of Xanathar competence to be able to do such a thing.
Indeed, and generally that's why that's my general thoughts on any conspiracy theories. Is like if anyone has been in a group project, you just know no one is competent or organised enough to pull that off. Like,
I used to entertain some thoughts about conspiracy theory, and then I worked for several years where our job was to go in. People were paying us to go in and clean cold water storage tanks, and we had it all organised in advance. Everything was done, and it was still surprisingly hard to get it done. And this was not a complicated job. Anything more complicated than that, it's like, goodness, like the amount of planning and the inability for people to keep secrets. It's like conspiracies are hard,
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some of the content of this book. So these are some of the interior pages. That's quite small on the screen there on the slide I've just flashed up. So there will be a link in the show notes where you can see them in full size or in the end world. If you want to see them properly. But basically, this is a look at the Battlesmith. Okay. Yeah, it's a little blurry. But so you can see one subclass there, the Battlesmith.
Yeah.
It's looking gorgeous as well. Also,
I like the layout.
Yeah, it's different. It's slightly different to Wizard's standard trade dress there, isn't it?
Maybe they're making Eberron its own sort of brand style, you know what I mean? Because it is a different genre to classic fantasy D&D.
Yeah,
But to Forgotten Realms D&D, like I use many words to describe it, but I wouldn't say classic fantasy. Yeah,
it does blend well.
It's
not a million miles away, but it is its own thing, I think.
Oh no, I mean absolutely, Eberron is pretty good for that. Yeah. I like the looks of it, but it doesn't. I mean, the only thing that makes me say that's very Wizards-esque is the little table on the left-hand side. Which that's what we're looking at for those at home is we've got I guess like a page spread, and on the outsides it's got pictures of a man in a long coat with his robot dog, and on the other side there's a lady of colour. It looks like. Hard to say, holding some sort of, I don't know, two-handed death ray.
Plasma gun or something.
Well, I assume that's the level 5 feature, the arcane firearm, I guess.
That does make sense. That's what it says next to the picture. So that
the explosive cannon, perhaps, the one below it.
Oh, yeah, that does look bigger.
You know what? The way she told you it, like, sort of shooting from the hip, what are the name of those guns in Aliens, Russ, that the Colonial Marines use?
Yeah, they call them smart guns,
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought they had a special name, they're just got smart. But,
they're just got smart guns, yeah.
It's held like a smart gun and has a giant blue bulb in the centre. Yeah, but as I was saying, on the left-hand side, there's like a little table which has alternating coloured lines, which... But the way it was done, I don't know, had a wizard style to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. What else have we got? So we've got a quick look at the first page of the character options section, chapter 2, which mentions dragon marks.
Yeah, and that's a weird choice of font there as well.
Look at that layout; it is so different to standard D&D.
It looks like film noir almost.
Yeah. It looks like this diagonal thing at the top with character options in black and white, and
it's like a black and white neon.
Yeah, I feel like Jack Marlowe should be walking onto the screen. That's a film noir thing, isn't it? Jack Marlowe, is that the right reference?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's say yes. Let's just
I'm going to say yes. And it's easy to agree with you.
Yeah. Jack Marlowe, wasn't he a playwright? Maybe I'm wrong. I got that completely confused there. But it's like they got the character options at the top, and it looks like that would be thrown up on the screen of a black and white movie.
Yeah. It's like a black and white movie. Yeah.
It's got that slight sort of diagonal slant to it. And it's all in block big white capitals. Yeah. So again, this is a very different trade dress. Yeah,
we've got a sort of what's new with dragon mark sidebar. So it says the benefits of each dragon mark now derive from feats rather than species options.
Good.
Dragon mark magic works a bit differently than before. You can now use any spell slots you have to cast your dragon marks. Cast spells your dragon mark grants you.
Yeah, nice.
In addition to the Dragon Mark feats, there's 13 new general feats.
Mm.
And accounts of
30.
any species can take a Dragon Mark feat and manifest a Dragon Mark.
Okay, that's interesting because it said there were 28 feats before. So if there's 30, then I guess it must be 30. Sweet.
Maybe 2 are updated opposed to being new.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. So this is coming out August I believe, 19th.
Lovely.
So it's a couple of months away. Everyone ordered the Artificer.
$29.99 US. Is that just the pre-order price point someone's asked, or is that just the price?
But Wizards doesn't tend to change that though, does it?
Yeah, it keeps them both the same. So I believe that $30 will be if you pre-order it or if you buy it when it is live.
Saves on complaining.
Yeah. Rai versus the World there in the chat says, what does it say about holding medical shield? I don't know. I've only literally got those pages that it says there. That's all I can see. I can't see anything about holding medical shields on there at all.
August time, we'll get a proper review up on EN World going into detail. Probably ask Beth to do a deep dive into it.
Like I said, I've never played Eberron, but I'm guessing, so $29.99, I'm guessing we're talking a smaller format hardcover. And whether that's going to be a thing going forward for maybe like setting splat books. We're going back more to, do you remember splat books?
Yeah. Long time ago.
It seems like maybe it's going back more to, well, a splat book would be a small source book, like
like the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide. Sword Coast Adventurers Guide is a splat book, I would say.
What was, sorry?
Sword Coast Adventurers Guide.
Oh, right, yeah, that's quite small, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very lightweight. It's got mostly stuff about the Sword Coast. A splat book is like a little bit of setting. Maybe you got some extra rules in there.
It used to be soft cover usually, Or you might get like a splat book for a class. You might have got like the fighters compendium or something, and it would be like new options for fighters, or you'd get the elves handbook and it'd be new options for elves, but they'd be smallish and often soft cover.
And just like they're quite specifically focused, really, wouldn't they be? Nice little things.
Okay. Well, anyway. That is, as they say, that. What else? We also, just sticking on D&D for the moment. We have got some new horror subclasses in the Unearthed Arcana this week.
And I have some thoughts about some of the classes that I play and know about.
Then, Jessica Hancock, tell me your thoughts and feelings about one or more of the subclasses. Okay, so this playtest document is on D&D Beyond. So if you want to read it for yourself in detail, you can go to D&D Beyond and download it in the Arcana. So what is this? The document is looking at, it's looking through quite a lot of things. So it presents 8 subclasses. Now, some of these are revised, so they're ones that you've seen before. And that includes the Bard, Cleric, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Warlock subclasses. But they do have 2 new ones. One is for the Artificer, which is the Reanimator, which feels very cool, feels very Frankenstein. And then you have the Ranger, which is Hollow Warden. Now, I haven't played an Artificer or a Ranger, so I don't have a lot of strong feelings about them to share, but I can tell you what they are. But I do like playing a rogue, and I have dabbled in bardic pursuits in the past. So looking at these are the things I kind of looked at in a bit more detail. I was looking at the screen and was cringing at the typos.
Are there typos in here?
But let's pretend we can't see them. On that side,
didn't notice them, and I'm sure everyone else is dyslexic like I am, and nobody will notice the X is missing from Hexblade. It's fine. Anyway, so I'm going to talk the He-Blade. It's like a He-Man license because Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, and I'm sure they own He-Man. Anyway,
I know someone that when they make tea, she says the way you can tell tea's the right strength is it has to be the color of He-Man, and that's the judge. That's how you do it.
Nice. That is a distinctive beige. Or orange.
A beigey orange colour, yeah.
I was going to say something that might get me cancelled, so I will choose not to. Anyway,
Shall
let's
we
instead
rattle through
talk
this
about
list of subclasses for the people who are listening at home?
Okay. Well, Jess, the two that you looked at in particular were.
So the two I'm going to talk about first is the Bard College of Spirits and then the Phantom Rogue, or Rouge, if you're dyslexic like I am. So I'll talk about those two first, and then maybe if we go rattle through the rest, because these ones I have things to say about. So the Bard College of Spirits. So again, this is an existing subclass that you might be kind of familiar with, and they've kind of updated it to make it match 2024 here.
Yeah, that came from Van Richten's, didn't it? Van Richten's guide originally.
To Ravenloft, indeed.
Okay.
So if you've got that, you'll be familiar with this. Anyway, so the main changes are that Guiding Whispers and Spiritual Focus, they're now combined into a single feature, and that feature is Channeler. And it also gives your Archie proficiency with playing cards. So playing cards, as in all playing cards. Yeah. Anyway, so that works. Also, they have Spirits from Beyond, which that was Tales from Beyond. It's pretty much the same things, but it's been reworked and renamed. It improves the action economy, and so it makes more immediate effects in it. And they've revised the feature table. So that's just basic. It's very similar, but it's just been like tweaked and made a bit more powerful. And the thing I liked is that empowered channeling is a new feature that they added, and it allows the bard to cast and alter the Spirit Guardian spell. And I love the Spirit Guardian spell. So,
well, yeah, because it's OP.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a bard. I'm very squishy. I'm probably going to die. I'm standing in a room with a guitar. Please give me something so I don't die.
Let's give the best charisma-based support class the best level 3 spell or the best wisdom-based support class.
Thank you.
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
Yeah, I need it. I love it. Anyway. So that is so those are the things I found kind of interesting about it. The main thing was I like the Spirit Guardian thing because I love a bit of Spirit Guardians. But yeah, so the Spirits from Beyond, just talk a little bit more about that, because that is I've not used the Tales from Beyond before, so I didn't have a lot of strong feelings about this. But pretty much it's whilst you're holding a spellcasting focus, you can take a bonus action to use one of your bardic inspirations to call forth the spirits. So that makes it a bit quicker, and your and you roll your bardic inspiration dice, and then there's a table, and depending on what you roll, that's the spirit you channel.
Right.
It's quite interesting. And so there's a few of them.
It gets a bit chunkier as you go up the table, as your bardic inspiration dice increases in size.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I believe so. The spirit immediately takes effect, and if a spirit's effect requires a saving throw, the DC equals your bardic spell save DC. So that's quite fun.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts on the bard.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No,
I was going to be
go ahead.
because I don't know if we have anything else to say about bards. Well, I'll move on to the rogue.
I never have much to say about bards.
So,
the rogue was next.
The rogue, and I love playing rogue. And I, for a long time, I'm not playing a rogue at the moment. I really want to again, and I think I'm going to have to. And especially, I was reading through this, I was like, man, that's so cool. Rogues are so cool. So if you're starting a game and have space for a rogue, message me. But anyway, so this is the Phantom Rogue. And again, this is an update from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So people have probably seen this before. The Phantom Rogue is very cool already, I think, just for vibes. So the changes in this, Whales from the Grave is now linked its number of uses to the rogue's dexterity modifier, which I think is really nice. And Whale from the Grave is awesome if you don't know what it is. So immediately after you deal a sneak attack damage to a creature, you can then target a second creature that you can see. So it doesn't even have to be near you. And you roll half the number of sneak attack dice for your level rounded up and do necrotic damage on them, which is very cool. And so you get to do that equal to your dexterity modifier bonus per long rest. So I think that's just nice because it gives you another cool attack thing. And I also like the roleplay element that because the roleplay is that you're summoning Whales of the Dead momentarily surrounding them, which is terrifying and wonderful. So I like that dexterity modifier because I feel that I feel that just encourages you to boost more into dex and make that part of it.
Yeah.
So the Tokens of the Departed gives you soul trinkets whenever you finish a long rest, and it allows more reliable usage of the feature's benefits. So they basically just made Tokens of the Departed a little bit more beefed up. Voice of Death. Now this I like as well. Voice of Death is a new feature that allows you to cast Speak with Dead. And I have been sleeping on Speak with Dead as a spell a lot of the time. And my Baldur's Gate 3 reference of the week. Until I played Baldur's Gate 3, I hadn't thought about how useful it is from a role-play, investigative information point of view and how it can be used to solve puzzles as much. I just hadn't used it when I've been playing D&D a lot, but since I use it a lot in Baldur's Gate, so I think I'm going to use it more in actual role-playing games. So I like that this gives you the opportunity to do that. So you cast it once without a spell slot, because
It's just
obviously
thinking
you're
me in that scene from the D&D movie, isn't it?
Yes. You don't need any spell components. You use dexterity as your spell casting modifier, which is great. So it means you regain the ability on a short rest or a long rest, which is quite nice. So it means you can actually use it. So I really like that. I think that's fun. I think it's flavorful, and I think it's giving something a bit more role play to the rogue, because the rogue already does a lot of damage. And there's another thing, Death's Friend now lets you regain a soul trinket when you roll initiative and have no soul trinkets. So soul trinkets, we like them. But yeah.
Marvellous.
So I quite like that. I think that looks really fun.
Yeah.
But there's different ways you can use the soul trinkets, which look the same to me. So you can discard your soul trinkets to use Death's Knell. So when you deal sneak attack, you can send a soul trinket and use Wells in the Grave without using a feature, Life's Essence. And, it's the same. It looks the same to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, soul trinkets are cool. And those are my thoughts.
So the question is, what's this for?
What do you mean?
So you an Unearthed Arcana playtest document, which means it's related to an upcoming product.
Yes.
We've just looked at Eberron, which looks like it's a small, we're guessing, hardcover splat book for Eberron.
Yeah.
There's a missing product later this year, which we don't know what it is yet, in the Wizard slot. Is there going to be a Ravenoff splat book, similar format, $29.99, small Ravenoff splat book coming out later this year? And this is a guess, complete and utter guess. No inside knowledge whatsoever.
No.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah, maybe.
That feels very plausible. And it feels less of a conspiracy theory than what I said. So,
it's interesting.
And if that's the case, are they going to be going through lots of campaign settings doing that?
It's possible. It just depends on how much extra information. Like, I think someone in the chat was speculating that there'd be about 128 pages. So perhaps in a Sword Coast Adventurer style, there's just going to be an absolute ton of updated lore, which is going to represent a big departure for Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was thinking, maybe from their point of view, they're looking at the campaign settings that they've so far released or touched on. And they want people to use those old books still and buy those old books. But they want to update the player options related to them.
Yes.
But in a sense, these are sort of like appendices, 2024 update appendices to Curse of Strahd or the Eberron hardcover that came out a few years ago, and all these things.
Yeah,
so maybe
that's from the last one.
So they're kind of patches rather than 128-page hardcover patches in a way.
DLC, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the price point is at 30, so it doesn't feel like too much of a sting that you're buying it all again.
Yeah.
I will say one thing I have noticed is the Hexblade patron is in here, and I
Mhm.
actually went to have a look at that because I would describe Hexblade as like the bane of a GM's life per se.
Oh, really? Maybe I should play that.
Like it's not like on its own, it's fine. It's when you splash it into a charisma caster, like say bards or sorcerers, because they had a lot of stuff at level 1. But with the 2024 rule set, all that is kicks back to level 3. So you're looking at a 3-level dip to pick up those snackies. And it doesn't appear to have like the medium armor and shields, which were one of the reasons why it was just so tempting to pick up like a single level dip, as well, of course, as the warlock slots, which are replenished automatically. So yeah, it looks a lot more civilized, like a regular warlock, as opposed to a well, you have to take a level of hexblade because why are you wasting everyone's time if you're not? Yeah, I mean, you could even flash it with a bit of paladin, because then you could get your a smite or 2 smites refreshing on a short rest, which is quite good.
Indeed.
Yeah. But that's the Hexblade Warlock. But what about the Heblade Warlock?
The Heblade Warlock, I'm afraid I wasn't able to find that in the document, so yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Neither was I able to find the Grave Domain Kletic. So yeah, it's a tricky one. For those who are listening at home wondering what we're looking at, there's also the Shadow Sorcerer, the Undead Patron Warlock, which may have been improved over the one in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, the Reanimator Artificer, and the Hollow Warden Ranger.
Indeed. The Hollow Warden Ranger is a new one. I don't play a lot of Rangers, so I didn't have anything jumps out at me, but it does seem pretty cool. Like when you reach level 3, you always have certain spells prepared, like Wrathful Smite at level 3, Spike Growth level 5, etc. Wrath of the Wild, when you cast Hunter's Mark, you transform and gain the benefits for the duration of the spell. So you get Ancient Armor and an Unnerving Aura.
Wow.
Just like me at a party. But yeah, so it does look quite interesting, but I haven't played Rangers enough to like give a lot of commentary on it, but it looks interesting. There's also level 3, something called Rot and Violence, which I just like the title of, to be honest.
Lovely.
But yeah, that gives you an eerie aura opposed to an unnerving aura.
Do you know what's notably missing from that list, though?
What?
Why isn't there a Necromancer Wizard? If it's like a list of horror-themed subclasses, surely that's an obvious one.
Do they have one already?
Yeah, is there not one in the main book?
Is there? I don't know.
I'm unfamiliar with 2024. Haven't had a no one's thrown me a free copy, and I
haven't either.
Would that be like Necromancy of Thay? Are they not planning on doing a book about something like that coming up at some point?
I don't know, are they?
Well, I mean, the Red Wizards are their own thing, as I understood. By far one of the coolest parts of the Forgotten Realms. Yeah, interesting.
Maybe they forgot them in that realm. But there is the Shadow Sorcery, the Sorcerer, which I know it's not a wizard, but
yeah.
But anyway, so they look quite interesting. If you play any of those subclasses, take a look at the Unearthed Arcana, and if you have strong thoughts and feelings, you can give your feedback to Wizards of the Coast. My feedback is I like that I have the Spirit Guardians on my bard. Thank you for that.
All right, next on the menu. I'm just going through the running order that we've actually got on our running order page, just because that's the order I've got the slides in.
Pathfinder?
Pathfinder, correct.
Pathfinder.
So Pathfinder Remaster,
nice.
which is a OGL free version of Pathfinder 2E.
Yes.
I mean, really, it's Pathfinder 3E at this point, to be honest, isn't it? They've changed so much. To remove like legacy D&D references and IP and moving away from the open gaming license and all this sort of stuff. They've changed so much. I guess the rules aren't different. It's just only the lore and names of things and stuff like that. But this is Pathfinder Treasure Vaults. And this is a 224-page book. It's got about 600 magic items in it.
Wow.
And it's coming out June the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just updates a whole bunch of Pathfinder magic items to the Remaster edition of 2E.
Yes.
Which is the Open Gaming license-free version.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I mean, 600 items, over 50 weapons. They say there's a devastating Earthbreaker hammer. The ferocious Falcata. What's a Falcata?
Sort of sword, isn't it? Two-handed, I think, slashing, quite heavy chopping boy. If memory serves, I don't know. It's like that's just I might be thinking of a falchion by mistake. Falcata sword. Pre-Roman.
Sorry, yeah, you got
it. Pre-Roman Iberia, so looks like a single-handed, chopping sword. It's got a distinct curved edge.
it looks like a stereotypical piratey sword to me, like a cool.
Yeah, it's got cutlass vibes. Yeah. I mean, it sort of curves up. Yeah, no, I mean, a decent chopping weapon. So try not to be on the wrong end of one of those.
Okay. What else we got? We got a entire chapter on alchemy with over 100 alchemical items. They talk about restorative lozenges and searing flamethrowers.
Don't get those two mixed up.
Yeah, they do very different things.
Yes.
Amen.
Magical tattoos, artifacts like the goddess Shelin's mighty glaive, the Whisperer of Souls.
I like magic tattoos. That sounds cool.
My tattoos, sadly, are not magic.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't know that, to be fair, but the people who over the years have given me tattoos haven't appeared to be magicians.
Maybe the magic is the friendship you find with the tattoo artist along the way.
There is that. I mean, you do have to sit there for several hours making small talk with somebody you've just met. So
that is true.
You do tend to make a friend and then never see them again. Which is
yes.
Weird thing. What else we got? We've got an entire chapter of crafting rules. Which would be kind of fun. And then a special categories of items that can give you power that comes at a dangerous price. Like $4.99. That's quite a dangerous price for an item, I think.
$4.99. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hard to know what's in it or the significance of these. Probably don't play enough Pathfinder Second Edition. Maybe I should try and restart it again or something.
I mean, I imagine you'll be familiar with many of the magic items because, well, I guess I don't know. It depends how. When they de-OGL-ified them, are they just getting rid of them all and making 600 new ones, or are they just renaming hundreds of magic items?
If only there was some sort of news podcast we could listen to check.
I'll do that then. I'll listen to a news podcast.
Yeah, and then we'll cascade it down.
Yeah.
I mean, things like, a potion of healing, which is in the OGL. I suppose it's kind of a very common kind of term, isn't it? But,
I mean, good luck copywriting that,
Well, it's not about copyright. Yeah. It's more of an ideological thing at this point, isn't it? Moving away from the OGL. It's
everyone's got potions of healing. It's like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Bandages, ointments. That's why.
Yeah.
A tincture.
Oh.
No. Well, there we go. Anyway.
I think if you GM Pathfinder, this seems like a bit of a no-brainer to buy. I think it looks really interesting and fun. And I think, if you're running a lot of Pathfinder, I think you'll get good use out of it.
Yeah. Hard to argue with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's that type of book that's like, go on then. Like, I'm going to find a way to use it. But yeah. I don't run Pathfinder, so I'm not that person, but I know there are a lot of people that do.
You don't run Pathfinder yet.
I have such a list. I have a bookshelf of 6 things I need to run before I add Pathfinder to the bottom
6 things, list. Jess. 6.
I've got 6 things ready.
6 things.
6 things.
Excuse me.
Amateur.
6 things that I actually have intention to run.
6
things that are there left unplayed that need to be played more.
I have 50 things I need to run.
Well, then run a game. I'll play it. Can I be a rogue?
I do want to run a Void Runners game.
Oh,
I don't want to run an online one.
Oops.
I'm
We'll play it,
struggling
Jackson.
with online play.
I'll
I
come
yeah.
round
do
your
in
house and
person
play Void Runners
Yeah.
Codex.
I could do that. I do a short campaign, maybe not a long one.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of like a 6-session campaign or something.
Dungeon in
All right.
space. Sign us up. Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, we'll sort that out then. Okay. Right. Anyway, how controversial are you feeling?
Like, personally, like I mean, it depends on who you ask, really. Like, if you ask some people, oh, dear, okay, we're just going to jump in the deep end. Is that right? Cool,
Yep.
cool.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Quite controversial. So this week, Goodman Games announced a new Kickstarter. Goodman Games, of course, is kind of famous for reviving older stuff.
Yes.
And a lot of older sort of D&D stuff, but also from other companies as well, and bringing them into 5th edition and into their own in-house Dungeon Crawl Classic system.
Yes.
I've been doing that for years and
a lot of
years.
people I know love Dungeon Crawl Classics. The people that
very
play
popular.
it really like it. Really popular.
Yeah.
It is a fun system. It's like very OSR. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So this week, Goodman Games announced a new Kickstarter or crowdfunder. I think it's on back here. City State of the Invincible Overlord. So.
Okay.
I mean, it's a strong title. We know what you're about.
So City State of the Invincible Overlord originally came out in 1976.
Wow.
From a company called
Judges Guild.
Yes.
Sorry. I'll be quiet now.
It was the first game setting for D&D, albeit from a third party. And basically the setup, there's this big dwarven stronghold called Thunderhold, which basically operates as a base of operations for D&D campaigns. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's kind of the setup there. So Judges Guild was founded. I've got to give you the backstory to this. This slight history lesson by Bob Bledsaw and Bill Owen.
Okay.
And they sold City State of the Invincible Overlord. Later, they licensed it to Mayfair Games in the 1980s. It went back to Judges Guild in 1999 with a new printing. Necromancer Games did a collector's edition of City State of the Invincible Overlord in the early 2000s. So there's been like 6 or 7 editions of this setting over the years. There's been this one that you can see on screen there was a small booklet. It was like, I can't remember how many pages it was, but it was small. But there's been boxed sets. There's been 300-page hardcovers. There's been all different kind of formats.
Yeah, and the graphic for those at home listening is it's brown with red on. I'm struggling to find words to describe it. I think there is a sort of a Tudoresque city in the background. It's very brown. There's a lot of red, and there's like some sort of winged Grim Reaper style person in the middle.
It looks like a Valkyrie, just like on a horse.
Yeah.
It
looks retro. It looks like a product of the time it was printed, very much.
Yeah. I mean, bear in mind, this is before like desktop publishing existed.
I'm not. I'm not. It just made me laugh. Describe it. It's brown. It's like you're not wrong. It's very brown.
Exactly. I'm not wrong. Yeah.
I don't find red on brown is an interesting contrast choice. I mean, I cannot read the words Dungeons and Dragons on there. And the text above that, I cannot read that text.
No.
But it's a product of the time it was made. And fair enough. Okay.
I mean, this may have come from a photo and it may have faded or something. So
this is true. But anyway, what's the news?
Let's fast forward a few years to 2020. So Bob Bledsaw has passed away at this point. He died in 2008. And the owner is now Bob Bledsaw II, his son.
Yes.
Okay.
Bob Bledsaw Jr.
This time it sounds good. All right,
yeah. And this lovely chap is busy posting a whole load, not just one, a whole load of different racist and anti-Semitic statements online, mainly on Facebook.
Okay.
Now let's look at some of the topics this covered. We have got topics such as the Jewish media. We've got topics such as disappointment at the outcome of the American Civil War.
Yeah,
We've got
we have been accused of being Jewish media as cultural Marxists, which I actually had to look up to find out. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're just not that talented and good looking.
No, yeah. We have Holocaust denial.
Lovely.
We have lengthy posts where he describes himself as pro-gay, pro-life, sorry, anti-gay. I've got that wrong.
Okay.
Pro-life, anti-gay, and against self-mutilation. Is
that meant to be a transphobic?
Yeah,
okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Right, there we go.
That's code for anti-trans.
He's hit the trifecta. Okay.
Speaks proudly of his family's history in the Crusades, which he considers a calling.
He considers the Crusades a calling.
Family calling.
I mean, as a British person, I'm generally not a big fan of the colonial atrocities of the past. Like, it's not.
Well, I mean, this is Anyway.
We've got
Moving
references to 9/11 truth. We've got reference to his family's history of slavery, and he defends his, in quotes, racial humor.
Okay. I feel we have a picture of the sort of comments that were being made and the picture of, okay. All right. So we have a picture of that sort of online presence that he chose to have and post.
Yeah.
So the sort of person I would pay good money to not have to sit next to on an airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's a new thing from Ryanair where they're saying, unless you pay us like €50, you'll have to sit next to this absolutely horrendous racist bigot and listen to them for the length of your flight. I'm like, oh no, here, take my money, Ryanair.
I think he also would pay good money to not sit next to me because I am not the type of person that he's a fan of, apparently. But anyway, so what relation does this have to the Goodman Games Kickstarter campaign?
Well, first of all, just to clarify, those statements, Bob Bledsoe II, not Bob Bledsoe Senior, who co-founded Judges Guild and passed away in 2008. Just to
they have the same name.
So Junior, as we shall refer to Bob Bledsoe, the sequel. Yeah.
So we covered this at the time. I don't know if you remember. This is in 2020. It was 5 years ago. And at the time,
he was also kicking off at a convention as well, as I recall. That's
not that I recall that, and you might be confusing that with someone else doing something.
Oh, someone else went on the racist side. Okay.
A lot of people have done a lot of things over the years, PJ. A lot of people. But anyway.
So as we reported at the time, various game publishers had various different relationships with the Judges Guild. Licensees, partners, vendors, things like that, and started cutting ties with the company. So we have Bat in the Attic, cut ties. Rob Conley of Bat in the Attic at the time called Bob Bledsoe II, discussed the issue and notified him that the Bat in the Attic would no longer be doing future Judges Guild projects. Frog God Games similarly said they would no longer be doing business with Judges Guild in the future. And notably DriveThruRPG deplatformed Judges Guild.
Wow.
So you could no longer buy Judges Guild content off of DriveThruRPG. So this wasn't kind of one of those things where people ummed and ahed at the time. It was pretty decisive. Very much the stuff coming out here is so unpleasant that people distance themselves immediately. Immediately.
The free market in action. Okay.
Yeah. Now, one of those, notably, was Goodman Games.
Yes.
So Goodman Games did quite a bit of business with Judges Guild under license. And they made a statement in February 2020, quite a long statement, basically saying we are disgusted, disheartened. I mean, I'm recounting old history, but it's the context for what's happening this week. We are disgusted and disheartened by the anti-Semitism. I can't say anti-Semitism, bigotry, racism, homophobia, and transphobia exhibited by the current owners of Judges Guild. Goodman Games has stopped selling our Judges Guild products through all distribution channels.
Hmm.
Judges Guild will no longer receive income from Goodman Games products now that sales of their titles have ceased. We have one remaining product to release, which is a collector's edition focused on the works of General. I always how do you say her last name? Jacquet.
Jacays.
Okay.
Oh, Janelle Jacays. Yeah.
Yes, which they would do, and the Judges Guild would not profit from the sale of that product, and Goodman Games will match 20% of the proceeds of the title with donations to the Anti-Defamation League and GLAAD.
Solid stuff.
Yeah, and these are the funds that would have been used for the Judges Guild licensing fee. Note that we have one remaining product to release.
Yeah.
We have one remaining product to release. Remember that. We have one remaining product to release, they said at the time.
And
after this final volume, we have no plans to release further Judges Guild titles. We are deeply saddened and frankly horrified.
Okay.
So 2020, fine, great. That's the response you would want. Great. Happy with that in 2020.
Yeah, they're very clear about their stance, and they've gone above and beyond to do donating to charities okay, cool.
Yeah.
What happened this week, Russ?
No, I was also going to mention in 2014,
okay.
Judges Guild ran a Kickstarter themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This was before all this kicked off. To bring back City State of the Invincible Overlord. Nearly 1,000 backers raised $85,000.
Wow.
To this date, that Kickstarter has not been fulfilled.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Was
that for 5e, I presume?
The latest update was in May 2020. Let me just call up the Kickstarter itself. This was for the Pathfinder role-playing game at the time.
Okay.
And JG Universal, Judges Guild Universal, which is a system, I guess. So to this date, that Kickstarter has not been fulfilled. I mean, there's comments all over the Kickstarter, people asking for refunds, and
11 years is just too long.
Yeah.
$5,000.
Apparently, if people contact them directly, they are giving refunds to people, but they're not doing like a mass proactive refund to everybody. They're just if you go to them, apparently they'll give you a refund.
If you pursue them individually, then they will.
That's what I've heard.
Right.
So anyway, this is the
wow.
So this week, this happened.
Yes, which is City State of the Invisible Overlord crowdfunding soon 5 DCRPG.
So Goodman Games announced a new version of City State of the Invincible Overlord coming to crowdfunder this summer for 5e and for Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Now, let's not be unreasonable. I can only assume that in the intervening 5 years, Junior Bledsaw 2, the sequel, has come out, apologized for his disgraceful, horrendous actions, and has taken steps to make himself to rehabilitate his reputation by donating.
Is that what you assume?
Well, I'm thinking that Goodman Games must have a good reason to go from absolutely we will not have anything to do with this person who's espoused these horrendous bigoted views without, said Bledsaw actually having, apologized and taken action to demonstrate that the apology is more than a form of words. Because, people can have dreadful opinions. I've had dreadful opinions in the past, but then I changed my mind, and where relevant, I apologized, I moved on, I tried to be a better person. And that's okay.
Can I shatter your dreams, please?
Well, I wouldn't say they'd be shattered.
Bob Bledsaw Jr. has not done this.
Has he done anything like it at all?
Is this your surprised face?
It's not super convincing, is it? No.
This is my disappointed but not surprised face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, people were saying, "Oh, okay," and then said, "Well, we don't know all the details yet. Maybe it's good news. Maybe Goodman Games has acquired the property, And Judges Guild
maybe
is not going to profit from this at all. And
Yeah.
the Kickstarter backers from the previous Kickstarter are going to be made right, and all this sort of stuff. Maybe something like that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. We got a couple of posts here. One is from Aaron James Bledsoe, another member of the family. Says Goodman Games does have a license to do this and other Wildlands products. It's been in the works for a long while, and I'm glad it's finally seeing the light of day. So this is a licensed product. Hello, Monty. And also on the actual crowdfunding coming soon page, it does say, based on the original City State of the Invincible Overlord by Bob Bledsoe Sr., as published by Judges Guild, this product is produced under license from Judges Guild. So, this is a licensed product. It's still owned by Judges Guild.
Yes, and is Judges Guild still owned by Bob Bledsoe Jr.?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, because that was the only other thing I thought. If Judges Guild had changed ownership, or but no, that was not the case.
There's nothing like that hiding in the wings. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I was gonna ask the question.
I don't want to get your hopes up. There's nothing like that hiding in the wings.
Okay.
So, Goodman Games has decided it wants some money and isn't that fussed about who to get it.
Is this the one last product?
I don't know the man well. I've met him a few times. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. He supports all the right things. He's not any of these. He's not any of these things that Bob Bledsoe is. Bob Bledsoe Jr. is.
It's awkward, really, because when there are people who say that others don't have a right to exist, doing business with them.
I agree. Doing business with them is a choice. Is a choice. It is a choice. It is a choice.
But like, if someone's like, I don't believe that healthcare should exist, it's like, wow, okay, but maybe.
I don't know. I agree. That's why I'm saying that Joseph Goodman. He's a nice guy. I like him. He's met him a few times.
I'm sure he's very personable, and you rub along nicely with him.
Yeah, but he's also he's not racist. He's not trust. He's none of these things himself. Which makes this choice.
But he's happy to do business with people that are.
Yeah. So, in the Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, backer kit, I think, launch video or announcement video, sorry, not launch. It's not coming until later this year. It's quite a long video, so I didn't want to sort of go through it all. And it only kind of touches on this stuff very briefly partway through. And I've put this quote up on screen, and it's quite long, and this comes straight from the video. And I want to point out that those incidents are not referenced in the video. And this quote is not in response. I've got to give it the right context. Is not in response to anyone raising those incidents. It's an internal Goodman Games video with 3 Goodman Games staff members. It's not an interview from an external person. They're promoting the product and stuff. So it's not like that stuff was brought up. But at one point, about 3/4 of the way through the video, Joseph Goodman says this. Now, so as I said, it doesn't directly reference those incidents. So I will say that I am possibly being presumptive in saying that that is what he's referring to here. I cannot say for sure. It's just that it reads like that to me. But it's quite long. Should I read the whole thing? Basically,
could.
This is where I want to get our slide game better, so I can play clips. I was talking to Jess about that beforehand, and we're going to get to that point because make all this.
And we can do the audio clip.
I'll read it. It is quite long though. I keep coming back to the fact that so many of the things that I do with Goodman Games, whether it's content-wise or business practices, was really established in the 70s by Bob Bledsoe Sr. and Bill Owen. It's kind of amazing, but I think it's important to point out that nothing is changing about Goodman Games. We've done things in a certain way for 24 years. A large part of our fan base has grown up to appreciate that, and those who have seen behind the curtain as to what we're producing, whether it's Mike and Chris on this call or Doug and his announcements at DungeonCon and his enthusiasm for doing the cover. I think you all know Doug. you all know me, you all know Mike and Chris, and you know what we're about, and that's what we'll bring to City State of the Invincible Overlord.
Okay.
We sort of say, you know us, we're not those people, sort of thing.
Yeah.
We intend to publish this the Goodman Games way, the way we've done it for 24 years, and the way we'll hopefully do it for many years to come. And my personal opinion is, this is where it gets. The personal opinion is I like to build bridges rather than walls. I think there's been a lot of experiences in the last couple of years in America of people building walls amongst each other. I'd rather encourage dialogue, encourage conversation, get people talking, and have people converge on what I hope is a unified perspective for how we can all go forward together in a collaborative way.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. We can't know, but that bit from personal opinion onwards, it's like, well, it just seems frankly misguided, to be honest. Painfully naive is how I'd have to describe it. I mean, he's acting like we're having some disagreement about, I don't know, how do you pronounce sigil? Is it sigil, or is it sigil, or is it sigilly? Whatever. Like, that sort of thing, deeply unimportant. How do you play your elf games? Do you play them with a narrator, or do you play them rules as written? Do you do rules cool? Deeply unimportant when it comes right down to it. It's a matter of opinion and preference. This Bledsoe Jr. chap, he's come out, he said, transphobic people are just self-mutilating. How do you build a bridge to someone like that?
That's the thing, though, about this building bridges language.
Yeah.
Who's always building the bridges? Are the bigots building bridges towards the people that they're... I mean, the bridges doesn't go in that direction, doesn't it? They're not going to those people and saying, I want to build a bridge towards you. It's always the other way around.
It's the tolerance. It's the tolerance paradox is the thing. You
Yeah.
can't tolerate intolerance. And saying building bridges instead of walls is a very privileged take, because if you're not the person that is being targeted by that group of people, it's safe for you to not be behind a wall and stand next to that person. They don't have a problem with you, but for a lot of people, they need a wall, because what will happen to them if there's not a wall? Like, just extending that metaphor.
The Poplar's paradox of tolerance isn't actually a paradox. Essentially, what we have is we have a social contract, and that says, as part of your social contract, you agree to tolerate other people existing. And if you can't abide by that, you're breaking the social contract, and you should be excluded from the groups that the social contract covers.
Yeah.
There's no paradox. It's like we all agree to get along, or we agree that other people can exist. I don't wish to socialize with people who have certain views, by I don't know, privatize everything. Say, I think some stuff should be in public ownership. On the other hand, I don't want to be with people who think everything should be in public ownership. I don't think that's right. I'm somewhere in the middle on that. Literally, I like commerce. Yeah, hands up. I enjoy it. I like money. I like making it. It's fun for me. But this is not what we're talking about. And as you say, Jessica, it is a product of unearned structural advantage to be able to say things like, let's build some bridges. It's like, well, off you go then. You start. Apologise, Bledsoe Jr.
Well, it's just words, isn't it? It's not even...
No.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on, because we're not at the end of this tale yet.
Oh, we're not? Oh my gosh. Okay, what?
It gets this more. Oh dear God.
Do you remember earlier that I spoke about how there was going to be one product, and they weren't going to sell Judges Guild stuff anymore, and on that one product, proceeds from the sales of the titles will be donated to charitable causes?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So at least until 2003, some people did some digging and went onto the Internet Archive to see when it changed. So at least until 2003,
yes,
there were Judges Guild products on Goodman Games website.
Okay.
Which is odd, because they said they weren't going to be selling them, but they were.
2023.
23, sorry. Yes.
Right.
I apologize.
Okay, yeah.
23.
That's okay. I just wanted to check. Yeah.
But it did say, as you can see there, a portion of the proceeds from the sale of this title will be donated to charitable causes.
Right.
I've given you. You see 2 screenshots there. One's in 2023. One is now. What's the difference?
Would it be the bit where it says a portion of proceeds will be donated?
That's gone.
Has been removed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Judges Guild stuff is being sold there still.
Right.
No reference to the charitable causes there.
Right.
I don't know whether that was a mistake or not. But if you look at the various Judges Guild products, it's not just one of them; it's all of them. I don't know whether that's a mistake, whether that's I don't know what that is, but it's gone.
It's pretty grim. I mean, what do Goodman Games say? Like, we can sit here and
speculate all we like. Yeah.
But I mean, what does this was it Joshua or Jonathan, whatever his name is, Goodman say?
Joseph. I reached out to Goodman Games yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. I wrote the article. Oh, just to say, there's a big article about this on the N-World, which I haven't heard back from Goodman Games at all.
No.
That might be a time thing, in fairness. But, yeah.
But Goodman Games has posted a public announcement.
Okay.
As it were.
Okay.
Okay, so the public statement. That's just part of it.
Okay.
I just kind of I kind of removed the preamble, but basically, I'm not going to read it because it's too long.
Should we put a link in the show notes if people want to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm straining my eyes here, trying to work out what this says.
What are the cliff notes, Russ?
Right. Yeah. So the cliff notes. The project was an outstanding project dating back to before 2020, when Goodman Games cut ties with Judges Guild.
Right.
Is what they say.
Okay.
That's not what they said in 2020. They said there was one project remaining, and that was the General JK's product. Right
with you.
Okay. See, I was thinking maybe this was the one project they were referring to, but it's not. No. Okay. No. Thanks. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Judges Guild has apparently promised Goodman Games that all proceeds from their share of the project's revenue, the licensing fees, basically, I guess,
right,
and whatever percentage they get, will go towards refunding backers from their older unfulfilled Kickstarter. And finally, backers of that older Kickstarter will get a discount on the new upcoming one.
Wow.
So that's kind of the 3 key points to take away. I mean, there's quite a lot more sort of preamble in there. They reiterate how disgusted they are by the comments in 2020. They
But he will still comment he will get the owners, the Bob Bledsoe Jr. will get money from this as the licensee holder.
Yeah. I mean,
that is because I didn't know for this they were going to say something like about that, but they haven't. So
the money is going. Well, Judges Guild have said that the money will go to refund backers from the old unfilled Kickstarter, which means basically the money is to pay off their debts. So if I sort of came to you, Peter, and you'd done something awful, and then I gave you money,
can't prove nothing.
You put crumbs in the butter.
and I gave you money, and you said it's okay. It will just go to pay off my debts. It'll go off to pay off my mortgage. It'll go off to pay my credit card bill. It'll go off to pay the money that I owe this loan shark or something. That's still you profiting, isn't it?
I mean, yes. I'm just honestly baffled at what Goodman is thinking. Thinking this is any sort of
big
answer. I'm just like, well,
maybe
they just feel that the climate in America is such that they can afford to do this sort of thing.
I'd love to actually talk to Joe Goodman about this and just find out where his head is at on this, because I don't understand it. But I don't know. So they said
baffling.
They said they were faced with one or two paths, saying, and this is a quote from the quote. City State of the Invincible Overlord faced one of two paths. We could simply choose to shut down our work and let the project end, or proceed knowing that money is going to Judges Guild would be supporting something that all of us at Goodman Games found reprehensible. So they're the two paths.
The option they chose.
So that was the choice. and they said,
Yes.
let's go for the reprehensible one.
Let's go for let the proceed knowing that the money is going to Judges Guild would be supporting something that all of us at Goodman Games found reprehensible.
Okay, that's a choice that they can make.
Yeah.
Huh. Baffling, as I say, baffling. Okay, well.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
I don't think that's a choice I would make, but that's a choice that they have made. And I guess they need to own their choice with that. As long as they're honest with their backers about what that is and what that means, I guess backers can decide if that's a choice they agree with or not.
I mean, it's just such an unforced error as well. It's like, I don't know, just make something new or look elsewhere. I mean, it's not like we're exactly short of like OSR stuff and second edition things. Baffling.
Yeah, that's not a choice I would have made.
Yeah. And I keep coming back to this. We have one remaining product to release. Going back to this statement in 2020 where they said we have one remaining product to release. That product was Judges Guild Deluxe Collector's Edition Volume 2, focused on the words of General
Okay.
Goodman Games will match 20% of the proceeds of this title with donations, etc. We have only one remaining product to release.
It sounds like
saying,
it sounds like they had those two paths they talked about in 2020. They said we're taking this path of closing it down, and now 5 years later they've gone, actually we're going to go this way. Or actually didn't announce it, just walked over there.
I mean, this is like something that they've had to plan. Like you don't just knock together like a big book conversion out of nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, this has been in the works for ages. They're launching the crowdfunding soon. They make big products, don't they? Goodman Games. They make these great big things packed with stuff. This has been in the works for ages.
Yeah. Like, I guess, like, just want to get back to what's comfortable for him, which is pushing out stuff for Judges Guild. Like, you know, with his good old mate Bob Bledsoe Jr. at Judges Guild. Like, you know, things have changed, times move on. People should just get over it. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And in order to build bridges with somebody, if they've done something wrong, the person that's done something wrong that you find reprehensible, they need to acknowledge it, apologize, and make reparations to rebuild that relationship. You can't just go.
Right. Sometimes people say something and regret saying it, or they say the wrong thing, or. But this isn't one of those cases.
No,
right? This is
people
someone
make
who
mistakes.
repeatedly,
100%.
continually. It's not
like it was like not even double
it's
down.
who that
was
person
like
is.
Odd downing. Yeah. It's like it's like I think these things. I think that the treacherous slave-holding states should have won the Civil War. I'm really disappointed they didn't. It's like, okay, wow.
Someone in the comments, Bob told me to do it, and Bob told me to say this, is maybe they signed a contract that left them on the hook for this whether or not they published or not, so have decided to publish after a few year gap, hoping everyone would have forgotten.
I don't know. We can't possibly know.
That is a speculation that a commenter made.
If I was doing a Goodman game, I'd be like, we're contractually obliged to do it. We're contractually obliged to do it, and therefore we are doing this.
Here it is.
Our best efforts.
There's another angle for this as well, though. Right, take the ethics out of it. Just look at it from a super pragmatic business sense point of view.
Yes.
Okay.
It seems like such a marketing misstep, a PR misstep. It's like,
well, it depends who you're
Goodman's a clever
marketing
guy.
to.
He's not.
Yeah, but there's not enough of like those people playing role-playing games. They don't really have the imagination.
I
don't know
if that's true, PJ. Actually,
I don't suggest you do this, but go and look at the comments underneath their video and things like that. You will see that there are a lot of them that are very supportive of.
Oh yeah.
I think there are. I know we find it strange because in the community that people that listen to our podcast, the people that in the communities we play in, we
everyone
don't see
lives in
that.
their bubbles and their echo chambers, including us. We don't necessarily get exposed to.
Yeah, exactly what we're saying. But I do think there are a lot of people that play role-playing games that have similar opinions as Junior.
Yeah, sure, but like there were like 70 million people voted for certain tariff causing people. So even if a tiny percentage of those, like 70 million is so many people, it like 1% of that is 70 million, 7 million, 700,000. 1% of that is 700,000. And again, like
it's a lot of people still.
That's a lot of people. So if 1% of those people played role-playing games, we'd still have 700,000 people being desperately online, clutching their nuts and throwing all sorts of spaff onto everything they could to shout as loudly as they could about it, because that's what they enjoy doing.
Anyway, okay, so that's that news. Is there more to this tale, or are we done?
No, we've reached the current end of it. I don't know if any more news will come out. I really hope I hear back from Goodman Games, and I would love to talk with Joseph Goodman about this. But
I do as well, because I would like. Yes, I would be very interested to read an extension on that article with replies from them.
Okay, I just don't understand it.
Yeah. But I don't know if I have anything else to say.
I just don't understand it. Just knowing the company and knowing the person.
Yeah,
who runs
and they themselves saying we think these views are reprehensible.
Yeah. But we're going to do it anyway. It's like, what? Don't. How about that? Like, I mean, there is a long tradition. Yeah. Or just
I would say if Goodman gets back to me, I will talk to him. I'm not going to.
Yeah. I know, absolutely.
I would love to talk to him and to see where his head's at on this. And
I mean, if he's got, I mean, it's entirely possible that he knows something that we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's not generally a hard task, but but honestly, shall we move on?
Yes.
Yeah. Should we do something more not more interesting, more pleasant? Is the word?
Yes. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Daggerheart.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got an exclusive over on EN World this week.
Ooh.
Well done.
From Darrington Press,
Nice.
who provided us with the Daggerheart's Ranger class.
I am liking the artwork, by the way, because we've got an absolutely enormous tiger who's clearly been at the pies, and I approve of that. It's a well-fed tiger.
A big pretty cat.
Boy. Yeah, look at him. Oh, I just want to rough his face. I
wouldn't.
And standing in front is a lady with a bow. Oh, I believe that's an artificial limb she's got there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
I
didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't until you pointed it out, but it is. Yeah.
No, I didn't notice it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, we have got a look at the Ranger class from Daggerheart. So Daggerheart is coming out May the 20th, so it's really soon. What is it now? It's
the 9th.
9th.
So it's like just over a week. It's coming
about
out.
2 weeks. Yeah.
So the Ranger is one of Daggerheart's core classes. This is by Darrington Press, which is the publishing branch of Critical Role, and it's their own high fantasy rule set. Here we go. So we've got the Ranger, and it has 2 subclasses. And the 2 subclasses are the Beastbound and the Wayfinder. So it's quite a simple class compared to, say, like a D&D class. It's quite simple if you look at it.
Well, it's all streamlined and so forth.
Yeah. A Ranger has a focus that they choose during combat. And the focus, the person or the creature that you chose to be your focus, takes stress whenever the Ranger attacks them. And that means that the Ranger can re-roll attacks against them or something like that. So the 2 subclasses, one is built around having an animal companion, and one's about basically hunting and killing, being a good hunter-killer.
Yeah.
The animal companion and the Beastbound sort of grows steadily as you grow up in levels. And the Wayfinder gets additional benefits when you target a focus.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Yeah. There's also
are they
reference
good at exploration as well? Do we know?
Is that what? Sorry.
Are they good at exploration?
Well, we've got 2 domains. One is bone and one is sage in this mentioned. So characters have domains. So bone looks to be kind of physical stuff, body and sinew, and that's come more the Wayfinders. Finder? What was it? Wayfinder.
Wayfinder, yeah.
Wayfinder.
Yeah, and not going to sell you some cheap tables.
And sage is more magic, I think, is what it is.
Okay,
I'm not
definitely.
100% sure on that. And the domains overlap with different classes, so different classes can have the same domains or stuff like that. And these are how you use your hope features.
Yes, that's a big mechanic, hope and despair. Yeah.
Yeah, so the game uses a duality dice system. We've got 2 d12s. One's the hope dice, one's the was it despair? Despair dice. And then the hope feature allows you to spend, and it's kind of like hope is a meta currency. So you can spend 3 hope, for example, to turn a successful attack roll on 1 target into a hit on 3 targets.
Solid.
It's kind of cool. So that's the Rangers. That is the basic Rangers focus. And then just looking at the different classes. See, when I say they're kind of like subclasses, they're more like there's more in the subclass than there is in the core class. So it's more like these are actually just different classes, which also are in the category of Ranger, which has a few things in common.
It's a different design metaphor, I guess. So yeah.
So you can hop on over to Ianwood and see this properly, read it properly, and see the full class properly.
Nice.
It
looks
look
interesting.
cool. It does look
that
cool.
That is a system I am interested in, Daggerheart. I do want to dig into it and read more about it because I enjoyed Candela Obscura.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that I think is a lot lighter than this.
Oh yeah, they're different games, but I mean, generally, if you like a game from a publisher, the other things are going to be of that quality and detail.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. I believe Peter, you put this one in the running order. The next bit of news.
Oh yes, Brian, Rook, and Descartes have announced that they're not going to Gencon this year. I think that's in Seattle. Can't remember actually.
It's in Indianapolis.
Ah, my bad. Not so great on my American geography. Sorry.
Well, they're interesting. There are now flights from Southampton to Indianapolis.
Really?
Bizarrely. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So should the world change and we ever decide to go to Gencon, that's pretty handy. That's pretty handy.
Well, Brian, Rook, and Descartes have looked at the political situation, and risk assessment says no, so they're not going to Gencon. Crossing the border into the US simply isn't safe for us at the moment, and it doesn't appear to be getting safer.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of UK publishers mentioning in various places that no, they don't feel comfortable or safe doing that.
And I've seen a lot of authors as well, beyond the like TTRPG place, also talking about like their personal plans to travel, and they're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, realistically, I guess the chances of something bad happening to you are very low. But the thing is, you're just hearing so much about tourists and visitors just getting.
It depends who you are and if you're the type of person.
But some of them
that could be targeted by that.
But some of them aren't, though. Some of them are people just not part of any minority group whatsoever, other than the fact that, and we're talking with British people and Canadian people and
random white cis British women, like getting banged up,
end up being banged up for 17 days
and back. Without due process, which means without your legal rights.
And despite the fact they're saying, look, okay, fine, you don't want me to come into your country. Oh, I've got plenty of money. I will buy a ticket and go home right now. And they won't let them, and things like that. It's a scary thing. And of course, to any individual person, the chances of it happening to you are exceedingly remote. But
when you're doing a risk assessment, it's how likely is it and how bad is it if it happens.
So if consequences include being packed off to an Ecuadorian, like being sent outside of the country to like a prison camp in like somewhere in Latin America, then it'd be like, oh well, maybe we shouldn't do that. Like there's not an acceptable risk.
We didn't have plans to go to Gencon this year, but I think if we did, we might have been having similar conversations at EN, because I wouldn't feel comfortable going right now.
I wouldn't go. No, I wouldn't.
I've had plans to go on a vacation, and I'm no longer going.
Yeah.
So this year.
Yeah, I'll be nervous the entire time.
Same. And I was like, I'm going to relax and have fun, and I don't think I will relax. But yeah, so that is a piece of news that we have.
Yeah, I think Rowan and Deckard said that their products will be there with different US based things, and I think is Motif just going to be carrying our stuff?
Yes, so you can get Level Up Advanced 5th edition, the box sets for Level Up A5E and for What's Old is New. Modifius represents us in the US for that. But just to be clear, because last year when that happened, they had our stuff. Someone asked, so because Modifius have bought Level Up from you, what does that mean? They haven't. They're just our partner in the US that take our stuff to conventions and distribute.
They're just selling. Yeah,
they're selling them like a shop. Yes.
Which is a pretty normal way to. I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty normal way to go about it, because if you're going to, I think there's actually whole companies that are set up to sell RPG publishers' work, where the RPG publisher themselves can't be there, especially in such a micro.
We actually used one. Was it last year?
A few years ago.
2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. We used them once. Let's move on.
And then we did a news article about them for some other things another time. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's move on.
That was a Charlie Shepherd.
Move on. Yes, quickly.
Look, let's get some good news, less controversial. Here we go. What's this?
Okay. Was this you, Peter, that this one up, or was it me? I can't remember.
I don't recognise it. Looks exciting.
Might be me. So GameFound, which is a crowdfunding platform, has partnered with DriveThruRPG, also with Magpie Games, Chaosium, and Loot Tavern, which is a company which has multiple $1 million Kickstarter, D&D 5e Kickstarters.
Okay.
And this is a program designed to provide resources, mentorship, and marketing assistance to help creators develop and fund their projects.
Nice. Yeah.
On GameFound, obviously, not on Kickstarter or BackerKit. So this is kind of a marketing thing as well to try and. But it's an initiative for small to mid-sized creators with projects that have not been previously crowdfunded. And they say that they offer a network of industry expertise and a platform for creators to refine and showcase their work, regardless of your experience. So basically, we're talking workshops, marketing boosts provided by DriveThruRPG. They'll do consultations with Loot Tavern, assistance from GameFound in making the crowdfunding pages for your campaign, and marketing support from $1 to $500 in form of basically advertising funds.
That would be like web ads and so forth that you can get credits towards. I mean, doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of people who would love to get into crowdfunding, but
haven't done it before, so don't know.
I've talked to a couple of people who've reached out to me. I know Hatchling Games is charging about $80 for consultation on this sort of thing. So I imagine that you've got an open call, so they'll be asking for some sort of.
I'll do it for 70. I'll do it for 79. I'll just say.
Okay, there you go. I must say that's a much better deal. No offense to Hatchling Games, but Morris has a lot more Kickstarters. I mean,
are you over 50 now? Well over 50.
Yeah, we are over 50. It's like 57 or something.
Yeah, I'm
and
thinking,
more on the way.
Yeah, it's like that's just around about $1 per successful Kickstarter that you've launched. So
I give my Kickstarter advice out for free all the time. It's
Yeah,
same.
same.
Have at it.
Right.
Have at it.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy
We've
to
got
answer
industry
questions or help.
episodes. Yeah. And we've had some really big names on here as well, and plus your own practical experiences. That's all available. I point people towards the webpage where we talked about it because it's a good resource. It's not that scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cool industry support thing. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
people
that
go
is
to
cool.
GameFound to get more info, if you have something in mind, I guess.
Yeah. Jolly good.
Yeah. Okay. Right then, we are drawing towards the end now. We're on to the Kickstarter section of the podcast. Let's have a look at this one.
Well, as we're on the topic of crowdfunding, let's stay there.
Yeah. Well, there is a game for the computer which I have never played called Heroes of Might and Magic.
Okay.
It's now, as we speak, just launched on Kickstarter, which it hadn't when I put it up. Smashed its funding goal already, 48,000 versus £33,000 goal. So that's around about the $60,000
well, it was a 40,000 euro goal.
US.
I don't know why it's in euros, but it's 40,000 euros, and it's made 57,000 euros so far.
Yeah. So this will clearly be this is based on Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the Restoration of Arafia.
And this
is interesting. This is Modifius Entertainment Presents. It says it's kind of like Modifius branding all over it, but it's not by Modifius. It's by a creator called Zed.
Yeah. The big Niev Zich, who I presume is Polish. Yes.
So does that mean it's not using Modifius's 2D20 system then?
That is a question that I do know. Yes, it is. Yes,
the
board games are a well-known and widely used 2D20 system, elevated to a more epic level.
Yeah, it got Modifius staff all over it. FYI, Chris Birch, head of publishing partner at Modifius, head of brand Smartware, marketing manager Sharif Darug, and Master Lion Irish Kaminska.
So they're doing it in partnership with Modifius in some way.
Yeah,
maybe they're doing fulfillment side of it and stuff afterwards as well, and obviously some licensing if they're using their 2D20 system.
Yeah,
licensing or OGL, not OGL, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, some sort of Creative Commons license, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, whatever license. It's coming in English and also in Polish, so that's
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Sorry, this is all a lot of new information because
I've never played the game. I know literally nothing about it.
It's not like you, Russ. You love a good video game.
Sarcasm.
When we're playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Oh, that's. It's it looks pretty good, to be honest.
Cool.
If you like Heroes of Might and Magic, which I've never played it, but a lot of people have talked about it and expressed a lot of fondness for it. It's looking pretty sweet. What have we got in? I've got in the way of pledges.
That's how well it's doing. It's trending towards 146,000 euros.
Nice.
For someone's first Kickstarter is pretty immense.
That's amazing. To have that as your first Kickstarter is
I wish my first Kickstarter had done 146,000.
It did not. It did not. We have the data on that. I think it was like $4,000 or something.
I can't remember.
That's a good number.
Yeah, for the first one.
That was in like 2012 or something. I don't know when that was.
Yeah, 4,000 meant something. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. It's $30 for the core rulebook and all stretch goals in PDF format. $45 for the core rulebook in hardcover and PDF format, plus all the stretch goals in PDF.
That's very good value.
You can get quite a nice.
That's €45, not $45.
Yeah,
still
sure.
a good value.
It does make a bit of a difference.
Yeah,
it's probably about
45
$60
euros to USD. Oh, it's $50. Wow. Okay. No, fair enough.
That feels good value to me for a core rulebook and digital, and then extra stretchy stuff. Stretchy stuff. That sounded wrong, but you know what I meant.
We're professionals on this podcast.
Yes, we are.
From this all.
Anyway, okay, so it's live on Kickstarter right now, just launched.
Yeah.
Go check it out if that's of interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
What other crowdfunders do we have?
Oh, I found one that looks really cool. I've backed this one.
Oh, what is it?
Check this out.
Okay. Tell me what I'm seeing.
So imagine a Rubik's Cube,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of coloured squares,
Mm.
you've basically got little bits of dungeon map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you can mix and match them to mix up different dungeons on the Rubik's Cube.
That's
Right.
a fun concept.
I don't know how useful it would be. It feels more gimmicky than useful to me, but
Yes,
but I still want it and have backed it.
Map provided by Dyson Logos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the idea is that you solve the puzzle cube. So presumably it's got full color and color borders. How exciting! It's got so you solve this Rubik's cube, and then presumably there is then a continuous way through all the dungeon, and then you can then play the RPG, and you got your own map there.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you could probably use it in all different ways.
Yeah,
I would just use it as a bit of a fun thing to put on the shelf. But
I wonder if you could use it as a magic item in a dungeon as a real world puzzle.
I reckon you.
So
could.
you
I
mean
reckon
like the rooms in the dungeon are actually moving around the players, and they have to solve this as a magic item?
So the players are in the dungeon, and you just give them the Rubik's cube. They found the Rubik's cube, and they basically that's the map of the dungeon for them. If they could solve the Rubik's cube, they've got a map, or if they can solve bits of it, they can get information from that. Then again, how good are you at your Rubik's Cube? My sister-in-law trained herself to do a Rubik's Cube in under a minute, I think. There's a way to do it. I don't know.
Would not be me.
Yeah. No. There's different skill set, I think, from this, because this isn't matching colours. This is providing a route through, it looks like.
Yeah.
But they've got
I don't know how much you can mix and match it, because it's not like the four sides of every square reach the edge of the...
I know, I think it is. There is a correct way.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, it seems pretty clear on that.
Yeah. That looks fun. Nice.
It does look fun. It does look fun. For $35, I backed that. I'm looking forward to my puzzle cube.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's like, there's a cool piece of like game crackery for you to purchase. And you can have a TTRPG campaign attached to it if you wish.
Yeah. Why not?
It looks nice. Yeah. Nice little thing there.
Right. Very, very near the end of the show now. Okay.
Oh yeah. Something I saw the other day. It's on itch.io. It's called the Kala Mandala Rules, and the tagline really caught my eye when I was like scrolling along in the blue sky, where it says spices, rivers, magic gods, more gods than people, more monsters than gods, and very few shoes. And it was, I mean, quite frankly, I was like, that sounded good. It like is a small game that lets you join a meddling guild, has a meddler rather than an adventurer. And quite frankly, I was born to play a meddler. This is the game for me, and I'm just sad that it's unlikely that I'll get to play in it. But you must get involved, you must make money, you must prioritize guild orders, and then you just go and you meddle with things. I'm like, Southeast Asian fantasy. They've got a lot of like quite pretty art. It's
role playing
price
game.
at the moment.
To be clear, it's a game.
It's a
44
game.
pages.
I mean, I'm not expecting a lot from it, but the price is right.
Name your own price, it says. So yeah,
you can't argue with that.
I cannot. Art, dance, food and culture, actual in-game utility to the really big things in this region. Lots of it just looks like they've got lots of ideas and stuff. And what can I say? I'm excited by it. I like the art of like a little otter leading a cow that's laden down with baskets. And I just thought it was really cute and quite cool. So I thought I'd shout it out.
Very cool.
Nice.
Mission accomplished.
Very, very, very cool. Okay. Right. Coming into the end of the show.
We're doing a thing.
It is
Really?
coming out or launching on Kickstarter on Tuesday.
Yes.
Into the Woods. What's Into the Woods, Jessica?
Into the Woods. So this is a collection of things I kind of curated from Insider. And the idea is that if you're running your own game and there is a woodland or forest in your game, here's a load of stuff that you can use to populate it and some ideas for that. So it's got some 12 different monsters in it, up to CR 11. It's got a really interesting villain, Calissa the Spirit Fae. So these are things that you can just have and drop into your campaign and drop into the world. They also has a character species of nymphs. These were originally designed for 2014, but we've updated them so they work with 2024 as well. So if you're working with 2024, that's how it will come out. But if you're still in 2014 and you want the old ones for some reason, I can also send them to you, I guess. But yeah, and it has different feats like Elemental Refuge and Nymphotic Seduction. And yeah, it's just like woodland themed things. And we're doing it via DriveThruRPG, so fulfillment will be quick as always. So the PDF will be with you in May.
No tariffs.
No tariffs because we're printing via DriveThruRPG. So if you live in the US, they'll be printed in the US. And if you're in the UK, they'll be printed in the UK. So yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. So that'll be one of our usual quick starters. PDFs all finished, so we just need to send them out to you, and that's going out next week.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. I like these books that we do that are generally themed around a location or an event. So the idea is that if you're just running your own homebrew home world game, it's just got stuff that you can pick up and drop in. It's really easy.
Yeah.
And that's the articles from Ian. That's based on articles from Insider that you.
Insider, yes. And Insider this month, of course, had its new format. It's now moving to a monthly magazine, which is exciting.
Has moved to a monthly magazine.
Yeah, it has this month for issue 1. But these are kind of the previous articles because Insider's been going on for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So there's like 10 years worth of content there that we're kind of making into books and collections that are
Right. So Friday, May the 30th. We will be at UK Games Expo doing a live recording of this here show. 2 p.m. in the Dice Room. There's a lovely picture of us from last year or the year before, one of those 2 years. Me with my eyes shut for some bizarre reason. I don't know why.
One half shut, one fully shut. What a beautiful photo.
Winking, clearly. Winking.
Just falling asleep from exhaustion from setup. That's the thing. Friday's the day one of the convention for some people. We're always exhausted from Thursday from driving down and setting up the stand. But anyway.
So please join us on Friday, May the 30th, 2 p.m. in the Dice Room at UK Games Expo. It'll be amazing. Bring your lunch, eat a sandwich if you want. Have a sit down for an hour.
It's free, and if you don't like it, we'll give you a full refund.
Yeah.
Hey. Goodness, I've lost a lot of weight. Anyway. Just saying. Yeah.
Well done.
Good times. Yeah, thank you.
Right. I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we are done for this week.
I think we're done.
There was a lot of news.
There was a lot of news. No, it was quite a long
Thank you to everyone that joined us live.
Yeah. Thank you all. We will see you next week, as always.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have some exciting news for you then. So until then, I guess I bid you adieu.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG.